What organizations do you work with here in Charlotte?
Organizations, I work with Greenpeace, their subgroup, I guess, we cover schools. I also work with this small organization that I started that helps undocumented students find information about being able to go to college. And just here and there I do some volunteering, but never for specific organization for a longer period of time than other people.
So I know that you just said something about undocumented students. Is this one of the main issues that you work with? Or what kind of issues are, most important to you?
Yeah, environmental and immigration issues would be like the top two that I would focus on.
And when did you start getting more involved in these issues?
For immigration, it's been a lot of years, and so for environmental, even during my high school years, I used to do a lot of volunteering and partake a lot of activities in like school clubs or outside of school. There's like any opportunities there, so it's been a long time.
Okay, so since the passage of Citizens United in 2011, we have seen a large amount of money coming into elections and into the government. And so, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about that, Citizens United being passed?
I think it's both good and bad. Obviously, the money is definitely helps to expand programs, outreach, media, things like that. But it's also comes with strings. None of it is always just free money. So I could see what the good cause of it was supposed to be, but I feel like it definitely, the setbacks that it has, like I mentioned, the underlying motives of the money gives too many drawbacks of what it benefits.
So, what would you say some of the biggest threats to democracy are today?
Private interests and corporate interests. So a lot of politicians, sometimes they're more in it for the celebrity status of it, the publicity, the power. So definitely, private interest can often just lead to people saying what people want to hear. We have a major example, Donald Trump, for example. Definitely does not want to unite the country so much, obviously from what he has said, and you can mostly tell that it's just he says things just for what people want to hear. Corporate interest, the money that is put in, and you can see that in our city, our state, through Duke Energy. They put in so much money and they control so many aspects of our government. It just takes the voice away from the people. And the government pays more attention and does more things that will benefit the company rather than look out for the people that they govern.
So do you think that there's something that we can do to separate the money from the politics? Somebody like you and me?
I think there is, but it's something that it needs to be a collective effort. It can't just be two people sitting in a room trying to get the money out of politics. But it's definitely something that needs to be put in front of people and make them realize that, hey, this is how bad it is. Make them feel it emotion-wise, and give them the encouragement and the
motivation.
Yeah, to know that they're able to make a difference as long as we all stick together.
So what would you say about McCrory's time? What is your thoughts on his time as governor?
My thoughts on his time as governor has been that it's been very I guess strategic. The way he does things, as an everyday citizen, you wouldn't really notice. It's like, hey, like all the things that he's doing, like follows an agenda. Because one, it's not too much there's not too much publicity about the things that he does, and some of the things that do happen in that our government does pass or anything is not necessarily linked back to McGrory. It's just to the North Carolina government overall. Personally, I don't like the things that he has done since he's been governor, both immigration-wise and environmental-wise. Once the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals is passed, a lot of states they helped out a lot for the immigrant kids to be able to go to school, open up opportunities for them. North Carolina is one of the states that they said no. Our public institutions are still going to charge you out-of-state tuition. They initially were not going to give us driver's licenses. Then they did, but they put a little message on them that said, not a legal resident, no lawful status, legal presence only. And he's never done much to embrace the large Latin community that is in here, the large undocumented population as well that is in here, or to really acknowledge them or acknowledge the problem that it is in the state. And environmental-wise, he's very much pigeonholed everything that can help make North Carolina an environmentally progressive state, and has rather looked out for the profits of the two major corporations, Piedmont Natural Gas and Duke Energy. So,
yeah, there's been a lot. Is there any time since you've been here in Charlotte, I don't know how long you've been here, but that you've seen people really come together and have like power in action and really try to get something done? And maybe it's a small victory, but it can lead to something greater?
I'm pretty sure there must be some examples that maybe I am not aware of. Me personally, I have not seen that many times like the city of Charlotte come together for a single objective and something being accomplished. At least not something that I have really looked at and put my interest into. There has been times where students have come together to kind of protest for the out-of-state tuition that you have to pay, especially for even just community college. But not much change is made. Actually, no change was made out of that. And environmental-wise, like I said, I've been involved here for a year now, and the changes that we've made and the impact that we've made, the organizations that the organizing that we put together, has been the biggest impact that I've seen play out on the community. But I feel like mostly a lot of the things that people come together for is either for their kids' education. A lot of things whenever CMS does something wrong, you do see a lot of parents coming together and vocally coming against it. But as far as some legislature that is passed, I haven't seen that many people aside from the HB2 bill now.
Could you talk a little bit more about your work with Repower Schools?
So for Repower Our Schools, I've done a couple of activities with the schools. It's an initiative that tries to, one, educate students about renewable energy, solar energy, and also try to promote and try to get CMS schools to pass a commitment to be 100% renewable energy powered. And it's been a nice progression over the years, over the past year that I've worked with them. With that, I've done a lot of activities with individual schools. We've done partnerships with a professor from CPCC that has helped us do demonstrations for solar paneling. We also put out our report with NC State. That shows how CMS can realistically be 100% powered by renewables. And right now we've spoken out, and I personally did speak out against this Board of Education committee to tell them that it is something that the community wants. It is something that has a mass support behind it. and it's something that it is realistic. And I've listed them the benefits of it that include improved health for the kids, reduced cost for electricity, which is one of their main expenditures year over year. And right now it's being it's under committee right now, under review. So we're waiting for them to pass the committee.
Great. So do you have some things that you hope to see in the near future?
I do hope to see in the immediate future for them to pass the commitment in any shape or form that it may be. That's what we all hope, and everybody that is working on that initiative is hoping for that. Just some form of commitment that is concrete, that is saying CMS is going to move towards this, and just start seeing some visible steps to it. Even if it's including like maybe new schools being equipped with solar panels, or just a small number of schools being installed, just a small number of solar panels, anything like that, to
Just to
start
start.
moving the transition.
And on the immigration front, anything?
And the immigration front, there's not been any, too much improvement, and in North Carolina especially, it's just been steady. There's not been much outcry. I mean, there's a lot of activist groups that mostly help out with conflict resolution between like immigration and just any problems that residents have run into with them. That's the most that I've seen just pick up is a lot of more just immigration law firms, things like that. But as far as any
hopes?
activist groups or any hopes that anything's going to change in the state, not so much. There's not much talks of it really to make a change in the state government. Right now, most of the attention is focused towards the elections and what the candidates will do. That not much pressure is being put on the state.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.